And he just kept drilling it. And I was just like, hey, number one, I look back on this thing, and, he's talking about Chris Everett, who's a champion.
Right.
So, I look at that. That stuff wouldn't go today either.
Right.
The fact that Chris Everett is such a champion, I don't know, in women's rights, and I'm all for that. And I'm just like, that's being disgraceful to her. So not only am I standing up for myself, I'm standing up for Chris Everett. This is all BS.
Wow. And here we go, another conversation with the legend. It's Up On Game presents. I got my man Jim Everett here, man. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Appreciate having you on. Obviously, you had an amazing career. People know you. You're the only quarterback from Purdue to beat Michigan.
Yep.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
There's one more.
Well, Ohio State.
Ohio
is
State.
That the Ohio State?
The Ohio State. You took them down. First of all, what is that? What is that like to have the distinction? Because being a Big Tenner as well, we understand the pageantry and the tradition and the legacies that are connected to this game. How important is that to you still, even at this point in your life, the career that you were able to put together?
Yeah, I knew. There's two things that go to Purdue: astronauts and quarterbacks.
I know, that's right.
And I always just wanted. Lenny Dawson, I know that's a name way back in the day.
Name.
He helped recruit me at Purdue. So, I'm sitting there. I'm an old Kansas guy, right? And I got Lenny Dawson, won that Super Bowl champion, recruit me to go to Purdue,
right.
As legal as it could be.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, man, I wanted to go there. I was going to maybe go to Stanford, and John Elway was recruiting me at the time, but it was like, dang, it was too good. So, I go there, but then I had to learn all the stuff about the Big Ten. Purdue's not the favorite all the time.
No, not. Well, only Michigan and Ohio State, really.
Yeah, I know. And now you had the legacy of Nebraska and wherever they're at,
right.
But it's like, so when I went to Purdue, it was like, okay, well, I understand we're going to be a little bit of underdog, but I also understand that we're going to have a complex passing game. And so let's fast forward that to my NFL career. When I got to Los Angeles, I get to hand the ball off to Eric Dickerson. Now, how cool is that? But then I looked at their passing game, and I'm like, man, this is like high school.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, well, how about some of these concepts that we were doing over here in West Lafayette, Indiana?
Sure.
So it was once they brought Ernie Zampese in, and I got introduced to the Dan Fouts offense.
Ooh.
It was over.
Good.
It was the same thing Troy Aikman was running down in Dallas when they won all their stuff. So it was fun to be able to know that, hey, you can be cerebral. You have some back, but our teams at Purdue, going back to that, we just had some good dudes, man.
Yeah.
Mark Jackson played for Denver Broncos. We had some guys that were kind of like under the radar, but when we were playing all together, man, we were like a basketball team out there. It was fun.
All tall, all making things work. I love that, and tough. And people know you for being tough. I got to bring up when you was about to whoop. What's his name? Was it Jeff Rome?
Yeah,
whatever his name is.
Jimmy Rome.
Yeah. I figure I mess his name up on purpose for comic relief.
Just call him Jennifer, and he'll answer you.
I thought it was one of the dopest moments in sports media history, and you were a part of it. Now, maybe at the time, it was because the thing about us, we want our respect.
Yeah.
Like, respect us. That's one of the dopest moments in football in sports media history, and you were a part of it. What? Give me your recollection on that.
Well, number one, it's not a setup. A lot of people go, man, that was set up, because that was. I'm like, no, that was set up. I don't.
You didn't look set up to me. You look like I'm tired of you doing it.
Right.
And let's go ahead and have it.
I just had a new job going down, and I understand the LA team I was on in the early part of the 90s. We weren't good. Mm-hmm. We weren't. I mean, we were struggling.
I can sympathize.
And so the quarterback and the head coach, we all get fired.
Take it, right?
So I mean, that's all part of it. Real quickly, I look at a guy like Matt Stafford, who's coming now with the Rams.
How about it?
They were saying the same shiznap about him in Detroit.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of a sudden, you get some support, and he's pretty good. So
we all know that.
I know, but you don't step on the field.
A lot of people don't know that, though. A lot of people don't know the elements that you're talking about. How much of that has to be present in order to have any opportunity for success.
Absolutely.
And they take it for granted, and then everything it's all about piling on. Like, let's have a good time with this. This is a great story. Let's run with this. And a lot of times, if it's coming up short, it's a lot of times quarterbacks that are pinpointed. So, and you just wasn't with it.
No, I wasn't with it with on that part. Actually, I
Right.
thought I was doing Roy Firestone, to be honest with you, because at the time we didn't have all the agency and the pageantry and all the stuff they have now.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you're just going to go to some ESPN. I show up at ESPN2, and then I'm like, all right, well, is this guy going to be cool with it? And I'm like,
Right.
I don't mind if you hit it. Like, I wanted to design, but as long as we're cool about it, because I was being a saint at the time. And then he just kept drilling it, and I was just like, hey, number one, I look back on this thing, and, he's talking about Chris Everett, who's a champion.
Right.
So, I look at that stuff wouldn't go today either.
Right.
And the fact that Chris Everett is such a champion, I don't know, in women's rights, and I'm all for that. And I'm just
Right.
like, that's being disgraceful to her. So not only am I standing up for myself, I'm standing up for Chris Everett. This is all BS.
Wow.
So this is
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I mean, at the time it was like, this isn't right for her as well as it's not right for me. Trying to bring in some feminism.
Disrespect on multiple levels.
Multiple, and that's why I think he still today doesn't really want to address it. I'd love to play with it. Oh, I've been offered all sorts of opportunities for us to play with it, but he doesn't want to recognize it.
He don't want to do it.
No. But anyways, at the end of the day, I look back on it and go like, man, when that all went down, I was like, oh, I'm going to be in trouble. How many games am I going to be suspended? What's going to happen to me? Then I go down to New Orleans, and it was like,
you were a hero.
They're about ready to start a parade.
Right.
Like, that's our quarterback.
That's right.
He got some gumption.
That is amazing.
Go with this gumbo. He's got some gumption.
That is amazing. I absolutely love that. All right. So, and that's I had to hear that as a fan. I needed to hear that, to see where you were at with that. So, what is Jim up to now? What are you into these days? We were talking about trading war stories of our bodies and stuff like that, but what are you into these days?
So I was in the financial industry for years, 15 years, and then I ended up retiring from that. I had my own firm, and it was about the exact same time the Los Angeles Rams moved back here. And then I had some health issues we talked about earlier about getting the hips right, the back right, and for finally getting through all that. So I'm ready for 2.0 starting right now is what I'm saying. Right. So when the Rams came back, it was like we were 22 years without football in Los Angeles. So it was like, I don't know, am I going to root for the Chargers? They're down in San Diego. I'm not going to root for 49ers ever in my life.
Right.
I still don't.
I hear you. Hey, I hear you.
And then we had Raiders, and so I was just a fan of offense all these years. I mean, I want to see games 50-50 because I'm cheering for both offensive sides. So I've been following the game a lot, and so I had a little bit more free time. I got a daughter that's about ready to be a senior in high school. So we're just kind of rope-a-doping until that's that, and then we're breaking out 2.0.
I hear you. 2.0 is on the way.
It's coming.
I love it. Talk to me about mindset. Like you're a colorful guy. You're a candid person. Talk to me about your mindset as it applies to your. Let's just go to your playing career. Mm-hmm. What made Jim Everett great?
That's a great question. You could probably ask everyone on the planet that one because everyone has a fingerprint. Everyone's a little different. What makes them tick? Me now being a little bit older, now I can look back at my younger self. Saying, man, I was dedicated. I mean, I knew this. I'd go, hey, I might not be the most talented guy on the planet, but no one's going to outwork me.
Yeah.
And one of my heroes, even while I was playing, was Jerry Rice. I mean, I'd see all the stuff he's doing. I'm like, I'm going to do that. We're going to do it. I'm going to do that. We'd work out, and I'd be like, we got to run these 110s, or we got to do this. I'm like, I ain't getting beat. It was just it was at that competitive spirit, and so it's like I was always a competitor until, we did that all the way, and then people are saying, oh, you're a failure now. This is going on, but you know what? Sometimes when you have to go through those moments of failure, you find yourself.
Indeed.
And those are the things I can look back now and just like grab a hold on and say, you know what? This is temporary. I got a temporary setback. And so those are the things I looked at that makes me even stronger about what we do. And so when I talk to players or people on any walks of life, it's like, yeah, you had this temporary setback, but just understand it's temporary unless you want to make it permanent. And that's your choice.
That is a choice.
And so, what are you going to do about it? And so I try to be active. I try to do the things that are right. I look back now. When I look back at the NFL, I was just a player. But now when I look back, I'm like, No, I know about the offensive coordinator. No, I know about the defensive coordinator. I know about the general manager. I know about the draft. Like, for example, linebackers. You got a 3-4 defense, and you're recruiting 4-3 linebackers into that defense. Then he's a 3-4 guy, not a 4-3 guy. Well, you're bringing like cats with dogs. This shit doesn't line up, and people go, "Oh, we got a number 1 pick linebacker, or we got this." They're not putting him in a position for success.
Correct.
And so that's why I look at the Los Angeles Rams bringing that back today. You got an owner who wants to win and do whatever to win. He builds a $5 billion stadium. He's committed.
Yeah.
You got Les Snead. He knows everything that Sean McVay wants, and they're working. The only time I've ever seen something like that was with Eddie DeBartolo, with
the Niners.
The Niners, because they put a dynasty together. Now, Patriots did a good thing too.
Yes, they did.
They were. So when you get an ownership, that's where I'm kind of going with this. When you get an ownership aligned with a general manager, aligned with a coaches that aren't changing every dang year.
I get it.
Then you can get the players that fit that scheme.
Yes.
And then you can ask them to do what they do, not something that they don't do. Because, all of us are competitors, right? We're going to I've never been asked to do that, but I'll do it.
Sure.
Doesn't mean that you're going to be all pro. But if I'm asking Cooper Kupp, we bring Cooper Kupp in and say, this is what we want you to do. We want you to do this slot, this and that. And then his ceiling goes up. When you start putting players in positions of success, you get success.
You get success. Yeah, I hear you. Hey, Jim.
You're
the man. It's such a pleasure to be able to talk to you, man. It's Jim Everett, people.
Loved your career too, man. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Conversations with a Legend. Up on Game presents. It's Jim Everett.
It's the man.
Come on. All right. We'll be back soon. Man, let me take this in. Let me soak this in. All right. I'll be back. But thank you, guys. And thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Laura.